Hello, and welcome to this overview of the Cleveland National Forest Power Line Replacement Projects. I'm San Diego Gas and Electric's President and Chief Operating Officer, Mike Nigley. I want to personally thank you for your interest in this important SDG&E effort to improve the electric system that runs through the Cleveland National Forest and surrounding areas. Over the last few years, we have been working closely with agency staff and stakeholders to design these very important projects, avoid environmental impacts, and develop the formal agency applications. SDG&E has applied for a Master Special Use Permit and Permit to Construct to continue to operate and maintain these existing facilities within the Cleveland National Forest. The Master Special Use Permit will provide guidelines for operational and maintenance activities for the next 20 years. We have also developed a series of projects and activities aimed at improving the safe and reliable delivery of electricity to people working, visiting, and living in the Cleveland National Forest and surrounding communities. The U.S. Forest Service and California Public Utilities Commission must approve the Master Special Use Permit and the Permit to Construct applications before the projects can move forward. There are several public benefits we'd like you to be aware of. As part of our commitment to provide safe and reliable energy, SDG&E will be replacing wood transmission and distribution power poles with fire-resistant, weatherized steel poles. These replacement projects will enhance safety and reliability of the electric transmission and distribution system, improve system performance during extreme weather conditions, and reduce costs and environmental impacts for future maintenance activities. This video is designed to illustrate the purpose and need for the improvements and to help answer questions you may have about what we are proposing. We're confident you'll find this video informative, as these projects are a strong example of key improvements SDG&E is making in the area of fire hardening and reliability of the electric system.
SDG&E is a regulated public utility that provides safe and reliable energy service to 3.4 million customers within a 4,100 square mile service area, including parts of 2 counties and 25 cities. For many years, SDG&E has been operating and maintaining a network of electric lines and facilities spread throughout an approximately 800 square mile area within the Cleveland National Forest and surrounding areas. Maintaining this system has required 70 separate and individual permits and easements. In 2005, as those permits and easements began to expire, SDG&E worked with the United States Forest Service to apply for one Master Special Use Permit that would cover the entire service area within the forest. In 2009, the Forest Service asked for public comment regarding the permit application. In response to that input, SDG&E added fire hardening measures to its application. Fire hardening measures are needed to continue to provide safe and reliable electrical service to residential communities, schools, recreation areas, and communication sites used by emergency service providers. This involves rebuilding 5 existing 69 kilovolt power lines and 6 existing 12 kilovolt distribution lines using fire-resistant weatherized steel poles, as well as undergrounding in specific areas. Fire hardening will increase safety and reliability during high fire risk and/or extremely windy conditions.
Hello, I'm SDG&E meteorologist Brian D'Agostino. We're located here in the Cleveland National Forest, and as you can see, this chaparral-covered area is mountainous and very rugged. Severe weather conditions are common here and include extreme Santa Ana winds, very high temperatures, thunderstorms, snow, and even ice. These hazardous weather conditions and high winds are one of the most common causes of power outages. In fact, in just 6 months, we've already measured winds exceeding 50 miles per hour on 17 separate days. We're here at SDG&E's Weather Center, where we work closely with meteorologists from the National Weather Service, fire agencies, local universities to monitor weather conditions in San Diego and southern Orange County. We monitor and provide weather information because this is critical for our customers as well as emergency responders. SDG&E has installed more than 144 weather stations in our high fire risk areas, with 23 already located within Cleveland National Forest. These weather stations provide valuable information that is helping us better understand the frequency and severity of the winds across the area. This weather center gives us the tools to make informed decisions about our infrastructure. As we've seen, the Cleveland National Forest project area is prone to extreme high winds. SDG&E's proposed projects will help to reduce the impact of severe weather on this important energy highway.
The projects will replace existing wood poles with fire-resistant weatherized steel poles, install stronger conductors, and place some portions of existing line underground. The new poles are taller, look similar to the wood poles, and will be placed mainly within the existing easements and right-of-way. As a result, after completion of the project, the lines will continue to run along the same general alignment as they do today. The new pole design allows for greater distance between wires, which reduces the risk of fire caused by strong winds and wire-to-wire contact. Some 69 kilovolt power lines will be converted from a single to a double circuit configuration. This improves system reliability and reduces service interruptions in case of accidents, natural disasters, or other events. For example, if there's an outage, SDG&E can divert power to the second circuit to continue to provide customers with electricity. In all, more than 2,200 wood power poles will be replaced with fire-resistant weatherized steel poles. SDG&E also will place approximately 13 miles of existing 12 kilovolt distribution lines underground. Underground placement of overhead lines will occur in specific areas, mainly along roadways, to reduce visual impacts and disturbance to vegetation, cultural, or other environmentally sensitive sites. Construction methods for the proposed projects consist of typical overhead construction, helicopter construction, and undergrounding. The majority of the projects will be completed using typical overhead construction methods. The first step will be installing fiberglass spreaders on the existing wood poles. This spreads the existing lines by 10 to 12 feet to allow room for the construction of the replacement lines. Crews will use a drill rig to excavate holes for the steel poles. The poles will be delivered to the site, assembled, and placed in the holes. The holes then are backfilled with approved soils or select fill. Once the new poles are set, crews will transfer the existing conductor onto the steel poles. Using tractor-trailer pulling equipment, the existing 69 kilovolt lines will be used to pull the new lines into place. The same equipment also will be used to pull in new distribution lines. The existing distribution lines, cross arms, and wood poles will be removed, and the area will be returned to its previous condition with site restoration. Because some areas of the Cleveland National Forest are difficult to access by traditional construction equipment, the use of helicopters is required. The first step is the same as with traditional overhead construction and requires fiberglass spreaders to be placed on the existing wood poles to make room for construction of the new steel poles. A helicopter will place a drilling rig at each site to construct the foundations. Once the foundations are set, the steel poles are flown in and secured. Crews will then transfer the existing transmission line onto the steel poles. Using tractor-trailer pulling equipment, the existing 69 kilovolt lines will be used to pull the new lines into place. The same equipment will then be used to pull in new distribution lines. The existing distribution lines, cross arms, and existing wood poles will be removed, and the area will be returned to its previous condition by site restoration. In some areas, existing wood poles and overhead lines will be removed and placed underground. The benefits of undergrounding include increased fire safety, reduced visual impacts, and reduced disturbance to environmentally sensitive resources. Underground construction begins with excavating areas for splice vaults. The preformed, steel-reinforced vaults are placed in the excavated areas at intervals of about 500 to 800 feet. Using a backhoe, saw cutter, and other trenching equipment, crews will dig a trench approximately 5 feet deep and 2.5 feet wide between the vault locations. Duct banks containing 4 to 5-inch PVC conduits will be placed in the trench. The trenches will then be backfilled with concrete slurry and covered with a new layer of asphalt. Using the splicing vaults, crews will pull the new lines into place. The underground line will connect to a riser pole that supports the transition between the underground line and overhead conductors. Being a good environmental steward is important to SDG&E, so these projects were designed to minimize environmental impacts. Where possible, poles will be removed or relocated to avoid sensitive areas, including habitat and historical and cultural resources. Steel poles require less frequent inspection, repairs, and routine maintenance than existing wood poles, resulting in fewer impacts to biological resources. Additionally, lines, poles, and associated equipment will be constructed in compliance with standard practices for avian protection. Potential environmental impacts of the proposed project will be analyzed and disclosed as part of the National Environmental Policy Act and the California Environmental Quality Act. The U.S. Forest Service and California Public Utilities Commission will review the environmental impacts and then determine whether the permits will be issued and projects can move forward. Public meetings will be held during the environmental review process to gather input from stakeholders, including landowners and residents in the area. For more information on the Cleveland National Forest power line replacement projects, please visit sdge.com.